Hey guys, my name is Charlie, and today I'm going to be checking out the FLATLINE plugin from Submission Audio. So FLATLINE is a mastering clipper, and I'm someone who's very used to using limiting, but clipping much less so, especially in mastering. The difference between clipping and limiting is that a limiter is essentially a really fast compressor, so it's going to pull down the loudest part of the songs in order to avoid digital clipping, which is generally going to sound terrible. The point of a clipper, however, is to intentionally chop off the peaks of the audio rather than turn them down. So when a guitarist uses an overdrive pedal, it's going to be doing a similar thing. And in a mastering context, the idea of the clipper is to control the amount of harmonic distortion you're getting by chopping off the peaks of the audio, which can not only sound great, but also allow you to master your track louder than if you were just using a maximizer. So now I'll show some audio examples. The track I'm using today is from a band called Dystopia AD. The track name is Rise of the Merciless from the album of the same title, and I mastered this project for these guys last year. So I've chosen this track because it does have quite a few different dynamic sections, and I want to try out different settings on FLATLINE for those different sections and see how it sounds. So let's take a listen to the start of the song. So I'm just going to loop this opening riff here, and I'm going to pull down the threshold. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go deliberately too far and leave it on hard clipping so that you can really hear the distortion that comes from hard clipping. See there, you've got this like high-end fizz, which really does not sound too good, but that's because I've driven it way too far in order to demonstrate that sound. So what I'm going to now do is dial this back so that it's just affecting the kick and snare transients. And now what we're going to do is we're going to pull back the shape and just have a listen to the different sounds that we can get. So you can hear in particular that, again, the kick and the snare become much more aggressive the higher I drive this, and they almost become sort of muffled if I go too low. So just listen again, I'll keep it quite low. And what I'm going to do is bypass the plugin here so that you can hear the difference between soft clipping and no clipping. So the drum transients there actually sound more present and more in your face with the plugin bypassed, which just goes to show that soft clipping is not the way to go for a track like this, really. So I've just dialed this in to about how I like it for this kind of heavy riffing here. And just pay attention to the snare. I think on the snare, if I bypass this, is where it's most obvious. It definitely sounds like it's got more of a crack to it when I've got the plugin enabled. So now I'm going to skip forward to another part in the song, which is much lesser in terms of intensity, but it still has some nice punch in the drums. I'm just going to play it with FLATLINE disabled so you can have a listen. So see in the mix there, the drums are still very present. And what I'd want to do with a clipper here is I wouldn't want to make them too punchy because then it would just, it would distract from the guitar solo, which is the point of that section. So I'm going to load up a different instance of FLATLINE, and we're going to start again and see what kind of sounds we can get. See there, even though I haven't adjusted the threshold between those two parts, as soon as I dial up the shape up to hard clipping, the drums start to stick out and they start to distract from the rest of the instrumentation. So with it on a much lower shape, with the almost muffled drum transient sound, I think that's far more appropriate for a piece like this. So I'll start it on 100% and then I'll dial it back. So right there around 40% I think works for this part. So something else that's pretty cool about this plugin is that they have included some presets by a bunch of names that you'll probably recognize. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to load them up, adjust the output volume so it doesn't deafen you, and just play the track and see how they compare. So yeah, all in, this is a fantastic plugin for mastering. I've also had some great results sticking this on the drum bus with the shape knob on around 90 to 95%, which just sounds awesome with what it does to the drum shells. It also has a variety of presets which will cover most bases and give you a great starting point for tweaking the plugin for your own mix. And the cherry on top is the extremely clean and easy to use UI with only 3 dials, which is a very, very welcome change from many other more cluttered mastering plugins. If you want to check out this plugin yourself, you just need to head to submissionaudio.com and you can purchase it there. They also have a 7-day trial where you can just try out the plugin, no strings attached, for 7 days and see how it sounds for yourself. Anyway, that does bring us to the end of the video. Please let us know what you think of Flatline in the comments, and be sure to check out the Brickwall Sounds websites, Facebook and Instagram, and we will see you soon.